Big homie better grow up. Me and my woodies about to stroll up. I see them boppers in the corner. They sneaking out the back door. He only want me when I'm not there. You better call Becky with the good hair. You better call Becky with the
once again, you guys are finally back watching my channel, Fiercely Chocolate, as usual. And in today's video, I'm going to be bringing you guys a sweet little treat in which I'm going to show you guys from beginning to end how I absolutely slay, lay, and split this unit that I'm actually rocking right before your very own eyes. Ew, yes, girl. This wig is one that I, of course, made myself. And if you guys want to know how I make my wigs, it is still the same process. So I will link the video that I have on it down below as well as in the cards. But the hair that I'm actually rocking on this unit comes from a company called Sugar Hair Company on Aliexpress. So you guys know that it's going to be super duper affordable. And although this is not the full review on this hair because, girl, you know I got to run it through a couple more tests, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys know, spoiler alert, girl, it's lit, okay? Absolutely stunning, okay? So you guys, I'm just gonna let the hair speak for itself. I'm going to let the hair speak for itself throughout this video, and you guys will see how it behaves and acts, but I will definitely have a full review coming out on this hair very, very soon. But in today's video, I definitely wanted to go ahead and show you guys how I got this hair nice and silky straight. And did she let her 5 head come out to play? Yes, ma'am, she sure did, girl. So 4 heads, 5 heads, go ahead and stand up. I'm all the way here for you. I went ahead and decided to do a middle part, honey. I was also definitely craving some longer lengths, and I definitely fulfilled that want with this hair because it is 26 inches of, oh my god, lusciousness. And I actually think it's a little bit longer than that because it goes to about mid-thigh on me. Yes, girl, thotting in these streets, okay, but I'm absolutely loving it and wanted to give you guys a little bit of a Pocahontas tease, okay? So if you guys want to see how I completely slayed, laid, and split this unit from beginning to end, go ahead and stay tuned for the rest of the video. Alright guys, it's time to slay another unit. As you guys can see, this is the wig I made, but it is definitely in need of some customization. The hair on this unit comes from a company called Sugar Hair Company on Aliexpress. I will definitely have all of their information listed, and the only thing that I've done to this hair at this point was I washed and conditioned the bundles, air dried them, and then made them into a unit using a mesh dome cap. The hair was a body wave texture, but as you guys can see, most of that body wave texture rinsed out when I washed the hair. The closure that I have installed with this unit is your standard 4x4 inch lace closure, and it is a free part closure, so you're able to put your part wherever you like. Also, I noticed that there were no small hairs sticking off the top of this, and it was a very well made closure. This closure does feature extremely long baby hairs in the front of it, which makes it really nice when you're trying to customize your unit because you can make these as long or as short as you like them. Here's how the front of my wig looks before I've done anything to it, and I do have elastic bands inside of it to hold it nice and flat to the head. Now that we got all the details out the way, let's go ahead and get started with this hair tutorial. The first thing I like to do, as you guys probably know, is I like to go ahead and wet the top of my unit, especially where I know I'm going to part, because this really helps to control all the hair and start to mold the wig in place where I want it. Next, I'm going to go ahead and start to carve out my part, and you guys know that with this tutorial I'm going to be doing a middle part, even though y'all know I never do middle parts, but we're going to go ahead and change it up and go with it today. I like to do this when the hair is wet because it definitely, when it dries, sets that part into place. Now to further mold my hair, especially when I'm working with a free part lace closure, I'm going to go ahead and take my foam wrap lotion. This one is from Mazzani, but you can use any type of foam wrap lotion, mousse, or setting spray, and spray that where you have your part at. And what this is going to do is lay all the small hairs down, solidify your part, as well as it really molds the hair in the direction that you want it to lay when it's dry. Now usually I would air dry at this point, just take the unit off and let it air dry, but because I got somewhere to go, girl, I'm gonna go ahead and use my blow dryer and just blow dry in the direction that I want the hair to flow. Now because my hair is pretty much straight all over, it does have a little bit of a body wave texture left, I'm just going to blow dry the top, but if you did have more textured hair, feel free to blow dry all the hair so that it saves you a lot of work when you go in to actually flat iron your hair. Now I'm going to return back to my closure to make it look a little bit more realistic, and I've done this on camera before, but off camera I went ahead and just sprayed the front portion of the lace of this wig with a temporary black hair color spray so that when the wind blows my hair you won't see any white lace showing. We're not quite done with the closure just yet, but I am going to move on to getting this hair nice and silky smooth and straight. So with my units, I don't typically like to put a lot of product or any at all in the hair, but for this look, since it is so humid outside, I don't want any frizz and I want it to look super sleek and straight. So I'm going to take a little bit of serum and rub that throughout the hair. I'm going to concentrate a lot of that serum on the ends because those tend to dry out a little bit quicker. Next thing I'm going to do is just comb out the hair. This is extremely long hair, so I want to make sure that there are no tangles or knots in the hair, even though this hair was free of both. Now before I actually get started with flat ironing, you guys have seen me do this in pretty much all of my hairstyling tutorials. I like to go ahead and section my hair to make it much easier to work with, especially when working with longer lengths. So I'm going to basically divide this up into 3 sections. I'm going to clip up the front 2 sections and work with the back to begin. Now it is finally time to flat iron this hair, and to do this I'm going to go ahead and use my old Ride or Die FHI heat platform flat iron and a Denman brush since this hair is so long. And y'all better not talk about my flat iron because 5 to 6 years later she is still working with no issues, but girl, it is probably time for me to replace her. As you guys can see, I am using the comb chase method to actually flat iron the hair. All I'm doing is putting the brush in and following it with my flat iron, and this is going to distribute the heat nice and evenly over the hair. As you guys can see, I get a nice silky straight appearance after one pass with my flat iron. This hair has given me no issues and looks super beautiful and has a lot of body. I'm going to continue to do this same motion all over the head, and with this hairstyle in particular, I'm not putting any bump in the hair. I just want long, straight, voluminous hair. No bump in it, no curl or anything. Here you can see this is the side-by-side comparison of the side I just flat ironed compared to what it looked like before I did anything to it. And as you guys can see, the hair gets nice and super silky straight with one pass. Now again, the rest of this is pretty self-explanatory. Right now I'm just flat ironing the hair straight, again not putting any bump or curl in it, and I'm just going to continue this until I am all done. Now I'm all done with completely flat ironing my whole head, and as you can see, this hair is absolutely beautiful and still voluminous even though it is thick straight. Now to be honest with you guys, I really didn't even want to cut this hair, but just to give it a tiny bit of shape around my face, I'm going to put a super long layer, and I only mean like one layer in the hair just in front to frame my face a little bit. This is going to be a really super easy haircut, especially if you're a beginner. I'm going to go ahead and take some sharp hair cutting scissors, and I'm going to angle those at 90 degrees, and I'm almost matching this up with my armpit. That's how long the layer is going to be, and then I'm just going to begin to cut at a diagonal until I reach all the way to the bottom of the hair. Like I said, this is the only layer that I'm going to be putting in the hair because I want it just long and straight. You guys probably know that I am not a professional hairstylist, but basically right here I'm just checking the movement of the hair. That's how I check my cuts to see where I need to put layers at, and just making sure it's moving the way I want it to, which it is, nice and voluminous and very sexy. So then I'm just going to repeat all of those steps on the other side, and you want to make sure you just match up where your layers start on the other side and cut in the same direction. As always, whenever you're cutting hair, especially if you are a beginner, make sure you start off longer instead of shorter, because you can always go back and shorten your layer, but you cannot go back and add hair, nor can you grow hair in this instance. As y'all saw on both sides, I didn't take off much hair, but with the hair that I do have, I'm going to create a little disguise to rob a bank. But then I remembered that I'm too delicate for gel, so we're just going to move right along. Now I'm just going to make sure that my cut is nice and even, and like I said, those are the only layers that I'm going to be putting in this hair, and I'm not going to cut the hair any further after this. Lastly, I'm going to finish up with the customization of my lace closure. I'm going to take, as usual, a little bit of concealer that's a shade to a half a shade lighter than me and place that directly in the parting space. Usually I like to do this beneath the closure on the underside of the closure, but for the purposes of this video, I'm just going to put it on top. Just go ahead and put that in the closure and rub it in to make sure that it mimics the look of a real scalp. If you got a little bit sloppy with the concealer or the powder, because sometimes I like to use that too, then just go ahead and take some black eyeshadow or a little bit of that temporary hairspray and place that to all the areas where you overdrew your part. Lastly, I'm going to go in with one of my favorite hair products, and that's this wax stick from Care, and I'm going to place that to any of the areas that have those little short hairs sticking out on my closure, because it definitely just tames all the hairs down into place and they won't move all day. To make sure it stays that way, I'm going to take a curling wand. You can also use a flat iron and just go over the top of my closure to make sure everything is laying down nice, flat, seamless, and it looks like it is going straight out of your scalp, girl. That is it for this hairstyling tutorial. As you guys can see, it looks light years better than what it started with, and basically that is how I slayed this straight unit from beginning to end. I hope you guys got something helpful out of this video, and if you guys have any further questions, definitely go ahead and leave those down in the comment bar. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and subscribe right here on YouTube. See you guys in the next one. Bye.
Girl, you better come through. You better come through, sugar hair.
Don't.
Sweating like a Hebrew up in this bitch.
What? You can't say that. You guys, from beginning to end, how I actually, absolutely, actually, which one is it? Which one is it, girl?
I'm hungry. No. What's in my... No. Okay.
Super duper vibrant colors, but as you can see, and I'm gonna get a good swatch of this on my finger, as you guys can see.